stand up for the chair.
Good evening, everybody. Please be seated. Thank you. Get my glasses on. Right. Right. I've received apologies from Councillors Graham, Maureen, Madden and Councillor Wheatman. Are there any other apologies for absence? Councillor Brockbank, thank you. Right, thank you. And can I ask... Councillor Joe Kerwin. Right. And can I ask members to sign the relevant attendance sheet, please? Thank you. Can I remind members if they have any registrable and or non-registrable interests, can they please fill in the appropriate declaration forms on the table? Thank you. You are also invited to disclose any dispensation from the requirement to declare any registrable and or non-registrable interests that have been granted to you in respect of any matters appearing on the agenda. Those members should also complete the card and return it to the receptacle located on the desk of the Democratic Services Officer before leaving. Thank you. Item 3, minutes. Agreed. That was quick, thank you. Council, item 4, the annual audit letter. The purpose of the report is to present to Council the annual audit letter from the authority's appointed auditors, Ernst Young. The letter summarises many of the points raised in the audit results report, which was presented to Council on the 25th of July 2019 and the Audit Committee on the 24th of July 2019. The letter will be presented by Ernst Young at Council on the 26th of September, which is this evening. And can I ask Councillor Glindon to introduce the report?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to present the full Council the 2018-19 annual audit letter. As members will recall, 2018-19, the annual financial report and the audit completion report were approved by the full Council on the 25th of July 2019. The annual audit letter is the final stage of this closure of the 18-19 accounts and signifies the conclusion of the formal signing off process. It confirms that our auditors, Ernst Young, have fulfilled their statutory duties. The letter summarises many of the points raised in the audit completion report and confirms that an unqualified audit opinion was issued on 18-19 accounts in the value of money conclusion. The letter has been presented to full Council tonight by Mr Stuart Kenny from External Auditors, Ernst Young, not Ernst Young, Ernst Young. And I'll hand you across to Stuart who will take you through their report. Thank you.
Thanks. So this is our annual audit letter for the 18-19 audit year, and the purpose of this document is really just to summarise the quite lengthy document that we presented back in July into a more user-friendly report. So as these findings that are detailed in the report have previously been presented to Council, I wasn't intending to go through them in any great detail, but I just wanted to highlight a few main points. So, as mentioned, we issued an unqualified audit opinion and an unqualified value for money opinion on the 31st of July, which is before the deadline. In the report, we've also highlighted that we're in the process of completing our whole of government accounts procedures, and this has now been completed with no issues identified, and that was submitted before the deadline of the 13th of September. And then finally, we've also highlighted that we're in the process of issuing our final audit certificate, which will close down the 18-19 audit. And this is something that we're just going through internally at the moment, and that will be with the Council in the next week. Happy to take any questions.
No? Can I ask Councillor Glindon to move the report?
Yes, I'd like to thank I can hear myself hearing it. So I'd like to thank you for your report. I'd like to thank Council obviously accepting it because there's not got no complaints about it. And I'd like to move back to the report and ask full Council to note recommendation set out in report in paragraph 1.2.
I was going to say, can I second the report?
I think,
Just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Reserve the right to
okay,
speak.
that's fine.
it's just a note of the report, so I don't
Right,
need to
okay. Do you have any questions? No? I now invite members to speak to the motion. No? Can I now invite the mover of the motion to exercise the right of reply?
There's not a reply on here, so I just move to agree the report again.
We'll go to the vote. Those in favour? It's unanimous.
That's 46, Chair.
Thank you. It is recommended that the Council note the contents of the annual audit letter. Pardon? For formal reasons, I have to ask for those against the report. None. Right, I'll start again. It is recommended that Council notes the contents of the annual audit letter, and if there are any questions, you should take these in turn, but there's not. If there are any amendments, the mover of the amendment would need to second it. Is that right? Okay, then that's it. Right, next item is item 5, statutory review of polling places. Right. Yes, can I ask Councillor Pickard to move the report?
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll make it brief, as this is the 7th time I've done this type of report. Every 5 years we have to review the polling districts, and it's normally done in consultation with ward councillors. This is the latest review that we're bringing here. I'd like to move the recommendations under 1.2 of 1.21, and that we do 1.21b. They approve the return office proposals and modified by the proposed change following the receipt of representation to the Riverside Ward. I said, and delegate to the Head of Law and Governance in consultation with the Camperdown Ward councillors to finalise the proposals for Camperdown Ward.
Do I have a seconder for the report?
I'll second that. Okay.
Are there any questions? Councillor Clinton?
You're going to look at the one within Bailey Green School.
Yeah, the whole of the Camperdown
Right.
area is now for, just to save time, it's in consultation with the Head of Law Governance and the 3 ward councillors to come up with the best solution that you want for your ward.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, I'll now invite members to speak to the motion. Nothing? Can I now invite the mover of the motion to exercise the right of reply, but there's nothing to reply to, so
Just move we accept the report as amended.
we'll go to the vote. Those in favour?
Unanimous, Chair.
Next item is item 6, the common seal. Agreed. Item 7, Chair's announcements, which there isn't really much to announce this time, other than I'll be hosting a charity ball on February the 15th for the charities, the North East Air Ambulance Service and Operation Veteran. The ball will be at the village. I need to put my teeth in properly. The ball will be at the village on the 15th of February. So those people who are interested in attending, the tickets will be going on sale very soon. And they are £30 a head, which includes a 3-course meal, entertainment by Lorraine Crosby, who rose to fame with Meatloaf. She would do anything for love, but not that. So she'll be appearing, so it should be a great night. So if anybody's interested, tickets will be going on sale very soon. Next item is Mayor's announcements.
Thank you, Chairman. I think I would just like to take the opportunity to thank a number of people for all the hard work they've been doing over the summer. First of all, I'd like to thank all those people who came along to our charity events. The walk to the Lighthouse, where we raised £800 for the Tynemouth Voluntary Life Brigade, and all those who attended the charity dinner on Friday. And when we reckon out and pay all the bills, I'll come back and tell you how much we raised then. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Councillor Gary Bell and one of our officers, Laura Potter, for the hard work they've done helping our volunteers. And all that hard work has meant that we have been awarded a gold award from the Ministry of Defence. So thank you so very, very much, much appreciated. In the last 5 years, I think it's amazing that we have actually developed or created 6,450 jobs, 15 jobs in North Tyneside. And when Sage moves on to the Cobalt here, they will bring 1,500 staff with them. But more importantly, they're going to bring 500 and create 500 more jobs with highly paid, highly qualified jobs. So I think that's quite an achievement, and thanks to our people in the business world who work for us. I think we had a very busy summer and lots of events for people to enjoy. We had lots of cycling events, activities across the borough for all walks of life, every area you can think of, but it ended in a tour of Britain, and that's something we should really, really proud of. And a lot of people and school children got out and actually cheered them along the route, although they passed in the flash, don't they? But they did appreciate them coming. We also this summer introduced a new programme of picnics in the park, where we took the big screen into every park on the last week of the summer holidays. And I have to tell you, over 3,000 families went along and enjoyed an afternoon in the park, watching family films and having a picnic with the children. And we got a lot of positive feedback, because at that particular time, the last week of the holidays, I think families are struggling for all sorts of reasons, to be quite honest, and it was much appreciated by them. And I think it was about, we visited 7 parks right across the borough. I would like at this point to pay tribute to our staff who work in adult social care and children's social care. They're the staff who actually very rarely get a pat on the back, but they do amazing work in some very, very difficult circumstances. And those are the people who are very rarely heard of. And I just want to take this opportunity that when you consider 47%, well, nearly half of our budget goes on adult social care and children's social care. So you can quite imagine with that amount of money how much hard work they do. And they do it with great skill indeed. And I always think that those working very quietly away in the job, very rarely get a pat on the back. So I really want to take this opportunity to thank them very much indeed. And I hope if any of the officers here who work with those people, will you please pass it on, to be quite honest. And that's it. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is questions by members of the council. We've received one question from Councillor Barry. Do you want to ask your question, Councillor Barry? I take it as read.
Can the Mayor tell me what the current quality of water level are within the Cullochtas Harbour?
I believe Councillor Johnson, you're responding.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Councillor Barry, as you'll know, November Water are responsible for the quality of bathing water within Cullochtas Harbour area. However, water quality results are announced every autumn by the Environment Agency, and for 2018 this was poor. It's important to look at what a poor water quality means in terms of compliance by the Environment Agency. It's based on the previous 4 years of sample data taken by the agency between May and September every year to assess the bathing waters against the strict regulations. While almost all samples at Cullochtas Bay indicate a healthy condition at Cullochtas, a small number of spikes have led to the overall categorisation. But I'm really surprised that Councillor Barry's need to ask this question in a meeting of full council, given that this information related to his own ward is not only publicised on the Environment Agency's website and was discussed at length at his ward briefing today, which he did not attend, but it's also referenced on beach signage within the ward in Cullochtas.
Councillor Barry, do you have a supplementary?
Can the Mayor confirm that sewers were not advised to use the harbour due to the possible risk in respect of the poor quality of the water, and yet the paddle boaters were not restricted.
Because Barry, the new rate will be announced very soon this year, but as poor water quality, what poor water quality means is if you've actually seen a signage on your ward, it tells you exactly what swimmers are advised and not advised to do. But we know that the coastline is a great part of North Tyneside, and it's a large part of our tourist offer in North Tyneside. So we've worked really hard, even though it's nothing about water responsibility, we've worked really hard with our partners. Between us, more than 500 hours and tens of thousands of pounds have been invested to find a solution to the water quality at Cullercoats. A range of actions have already been undertaken and that resolve complex issues on privately owned sites and public sites in the ward, as well as in the Northumberland Water Network, including DNA analysis to identify sources of pollution, 100 properties checked and 10 misconnected pipes repaired, 3,000 metre of pipe inspected with cameras, 150 metre of pipe coated with special lining to prevent leaks, suspected pollution pathways inspected using special dye, 80 highways gullies checked for misconnections and pipework failures, and 6 soakways/gullies sealed to prevent foul water entering the ground. Issues at private properties have also been resolved, and more than 200 water samples have been taken. Weekly water testing has been taken since May this year, and the results will be announced very soon in November, when we hope to see an improvement because of the actions taken. The actions taken not just by the council and our partners, but also by ward councils in Cullercoats, Karen Lee and Woody Samuel, who have constantly been pushing me on this issue all year and been getting in touch to ensure we get the water quality back to Cullercoats what it should, because we want our award-winning coast, and we want every beach in North Tyneside to have the blue flag, and we really hope that will be the case come November this year.
Right, that's the end of the business for this meeting. Thank you for your attendance, and I'm sure that must be a record. Good evening. Thank you. Have a good night.